Hi, my name is Taya. I am a senior at Bridgewater and I am going to be graduating in 2 weeks. And I'm glad I got to do this internship because I think it really gained my experience in the field of psychology. So, my internship was a family support worker at the FRC in Fall River. And the FRC is just the Family Resource Center, and it's essentially just a place where families who have children under the age of 18 can come in and get basic needs and resources and kind of just gauge what they need to benefit them, and if they need resources such as mental resources of their child needing some guidance in school, or if they need tangible products like toothbrush or toothpaste or feminine hygienic products, just things of that nature. So my first couple days of my internship, I definitely was taking more of an observing role. I had sat on a couple intakes where my coworkers would do the intake, and it was essentially just me trying to gain knowledge about how these intakes work and what the coworkers of mine do. And essentially I learned that it's really just a preliminary way to get basic information out of the client and to have it in the CRM system. So the CRM system is just a database system that we all have credentials for to log into when doing an intake, and just putting in the client's basic information, the kinds of referrals they want, and just all those kinds of things so that it's on file, so that if we need to go back, we can go back. My first intake was with a family, and the parent wanted to get resources for their child because they were having a hard time in school behaviorally because of the domestic violence that they have seen with their parents' relationship in the past. This was a really eye-opening first client case for me because I didn't really understand the actual true tragedy that comes along with just putting in these resources and why these families need these resources. And I think it was really important for me to know that it's not the same story with every family, and that everyone has their own story and everyone has their own reasonings for doing these things. So that was a really, I think, good way for me to get into the actual program and get used to doing it by just observing these intakes and seeing the reasons that they need these referrals. So when I started getting more into the groove of it and I had my own CRM credentials, I would do the intakes and I would be asking the questions, and I would just be putting it into my laptop. And since I wasn't really too familiar with the Fall River area, I would just kind of be like a scribe in the middle of my internship, just so that I would be able to know the actual layout of the CRM. And then I would write down the resources that they could need, like the SIR program, which is a program for just people that are looking for entry-level jobs, or doing the gifts to give orders, which is essentially if a family wants gifts for their child, they can tailor it to their own needs. Like if their favorite color is red, then we'll do it and give them gifts that are the color red. Or if their favorite book is books with bears in it, then we'll put books with bears in it. Or if they're a size 6 in pants, a size 4 in shirt, just things like that, getting those kinds of like resources for the children. Another case that I had at the end of my internship that I really still think about, honestly, was a family came in. One of the parents was deaf, and so we had to sign to her. We had to get somebody that could use sign language to translate what she was saying to us. So it was kind of like a game of telephone, honestly. And it was just really eye-opening to see like how amazing this program is, because for if you're not English speaking, then we have to call a translator, and we can normally do it on the phone. And just seeing the extent of how far the FRC will go to just really value these people's time and what they need, I think is really important, and I'm really glad I had that foundation and that support system too. But just a day in my life, I guess, I would come in the morning, and there would be a rotation of who sits at the front desk. So if I'm sitting at the front desk, I'm answering the phone calls, and in doing that, I would have to sometimes do a referral form, and that was similar to the CRM, but just on a piece of paper. You would write the parent's name, you would write the child's name, their date of birth, just the basic information and the reasoning for the referral. It would go to my supervisor, and then she would pick a caseworker to have that client come in and do an intake. When I'm not sitting at the front desk, I am watching different groups that they have at the Family Resource Center, like grandparents being parents to, or having custody of their grandchildren, and just having those kinds of meetings for those people, just to see how true it is to, or not true, how common it is for people to be in full custody of their grandchildren, and just learning different kinds of skills to be able to parent their grandchild and things like that. Or I was restocking the diaper pantry and putting the logs into the Excel sheet for the clients and the supervisions they needed, and just entering a lot of data into the Excel sheets and the contact logs, and just really using my technical abilities in putting all of this information into the logs. Another aspect of this internship that I really enjoyed was honestly the coworkers. I really liked that everyone is really hands-on, and since it is family oriented, I think that comes with a lot of different kinds of support systems, and I think everyone guided me in the right direction and showing me how it's not wrong if I'm asking questions, or I never just want to seem like a burden when I ask questions, but everyone was really supportive of me and had my best intentions. And I think this overall internship really opened my eyes and gave me a lot of reassurance that I chose the right major and the right internship.